This is a recording of the plenary presentation to the CIO Association of Canada's 2018 Peer Forum. Whether you're a legacy organization or a digital native, this year's theme is on the minds of every CIO. While market ecosystems have always evolved, the rate and the magnitude of change is accelerating, with technology increasingly integral to the value proposition of every enterprise. Critical to our success is our ability to improve and leverage organizational learning. We believe that we can learn from what got us here, and that this learning can help us navigate the uncharted course to there. The key lies in the application of principles that have been shown to drive high value and high performance. So what are the principles that drive value and high performance? To answer that question, we look to the principles guiding successful enterprises. We also look to the common principles guiding many familiar communities of practice. These principles are core to our practice as master coaches, where we draw on a full range of disciplines, including Lean, Agile, DevOps, and others, in an agnostic approach to support enterprise performance improvement and transformation. These principles are illustrated in our books and articles, including our newest publication, a chapter in the book Accelerate by DevOps pioneers Jez Humble, Gene Kim, and Nicole Forsgren, who asked us to contribute the content on high-performance leadership and management. The chapter offers a look inside ING Bank, where we've been coaching for the past 7 years. You can download the chapter at our website. So, what are the principles to guide us in the digital age? We've identified 7 interdependent principles. The first, superlative customer value and customer experience, is the reason an enterprise exists. The other 6 principles are all enablers of customer value and customer experience. Principle 2, the continuous flow of value and knowledge, and Principle 3, generative leadership, learning and engagement, are 2 key tasks of leadership. A leadership focus on the first 3 principles helps to drive the remaining principles and their associated practices. So let's take a closer look at these principles, specifically in the context of the changing role of IT within the enterprise. Every enterprise strives to optimize customer value and enhance customer experience throughout the entire customer relationship lifecycle. Technology is dramatically changing the way value is identified, created, experienced, and measured. For our purposes today, let's focus on how the skillful application of digital capabilities can improve value in each of the 5 distinct dimensions of value. The first is the integration of technology capabilities into the products and services themselves. Second are digitally enabled capabilities that improve the design, development, production, delivery, and support of products and services. Third are digitally enabled capabilities that improve every aspect of the customer experience lifecycle, listening, engaging, and supporting customers throughout their entire experience with us and with our products and services. Fourth are digitally enabled capabilities that expand and improve how we organize and operate, enabling completely new business models across industry boundaries, creating product and customer-based platforms, as well as new products from the data we generate. Fifth are the digitally enabled capabilities that improve the way we lead, manage, collaborate, and learn across the distributed enterprise. To thrive in the digital age, technologists need to emerge from the silos and integrate fully across every aspect of the enterprise. That brings us to the second principle, the continuous flow of value and knowledge. To succeed in the digital age, we need to overcome entrenched siloed thinking, structures, and incentives, and align end-to-end flow towards strategic outcomes. This includes the flow of value, the flow of the work that creates the value, and the flow of the knowledge that supports the work and the value it creates. To optimize value, a team must own, visualize, and monitor flow, continuously looking for abnormalities and opportunities. The nature of flow is dependent on the nature of the work: physical work, knowledge work, and virtual work. However, some flows are easier to see, measure, manage, and improve than others, and in the digital age, flow patterns are becoming increasingly complex. The physical and virtual worlds are blending, for example, introducing greater complexity of flow within the enterprise. In the case of this washer and dryer with integrated smartphone technology for self-diagnosis and service, we need to first build software integration capability into the equipment, often into long lead time manufactured products and processes. Then we must develop, test, and deploy apps so consumers can interact with their products. And then we need to expand call center and service infrastructure capability to integrate customer experience with predictive and preventative maintenance in the field. This all requires various stakeholders and functions across an extended enterprise to collaborate in ways they haven't before. In a predominantly services environment, we often see the need for multi-channel and omni-channel flow, where several channels, some physical, some virtual, some hybrids, must interact smoothly, often with conditions of great complexity and variation, to create a seamless customer experience. This too requires a wide range of stakeholders and functions to collaborate in ways they haven't before. With these two examples in mind, let's consider several dimensions of the flow of work and of knowledge that we need to address in a digital ecosystem. Here we have a physical linear value stream flow, represented as a traditional value stream map. In a traditional manufacturing and supply chain setting, this end-to-end flow can represent days, weeks, or even months of elapsed time. By contrast, a virtual value stream is capable of continuous delivery of software with cycle times measured in weeks, days, hours, or even minutes. Now let's explore an organizational flow dimension. The three primary value streams of any enterprise, development, delivery, and support, are often treated as separate functions, creating silos. These functions also flow at different cadences, which can vary widely from months to more than a year, depending on industry. By contrast, marketing, sales, and service cadences are often timed to market cycles. Now let's introduce the customer experience lifecycle, overlaid against the three core value streams. In many enterprises, the customer experience lifecycle interacts asynchronously with each core value stream. Design, engineering, and development can be marching to a very different drumbeat than production and delivery and customer service. Although each core value stream can draw real-time information from customer interactions, teams often lack the internal structure, practices, behaviors, and incentives to coordinate their efforts across the core value streams. This can result in disconnects, delays, and missed opportunities. The final dimension of flow we'll consider is by degrees of certainty. Within a single enterprise, it's likely that we have a continuum of certainty operating at all times. Innovation, creating something completely new in new ways, occurs in conditions of uncertainty. And the greater the uncertainty, the shorter the flow. The cycles of experimentation must be until a viable offering is developed. Using a lean startup approach and possibly using design thinking, we create minimum viable products or MVPs that we can validate the value hypothesis before committing more resources and releasing the product to market, or learn we should pivot and look for value elsewhere. Developing something new in conditions of greater certainty, we can use a development approach for flow, such as Agile or Scrum, to enable continuous delivery. Operationalizing a product, service, or process, capitalizing on it in an efficient, scalable, and profitable manner while continuously improving requires an emphasis on standardization and stability. This applies both in the technology world with DevOps, or in the services world, or in the physical world, where new product development and changes must be quickly operationalized into physical production or across distributed supply chains. Each of these conditions of uncertainty requires a different adaptive organizational and management approach. Now let's bring this all together to synchronize and accelerate flow across enterprise value streams. While the approach is unique to each organization and value stream, in general, here's what it might look like. The analog value stream on top continues to accelerate, relying on various approaches to mass customization, whether a physi-digital product or an omni-channel service. Integrating and synchronizing into this are cross-functional team members, including technologists, creating a holistic and continuous development and delivery and service experience through rapid cycles of experiment, learning, and execution. Not only does value flow, but the knowledge continuously flows through cycles of feedback and learning. While this may sound good, and to many strategically necessary, how do we optimize flow in the real world, especially when we're constrained by legacy organization, policies, and mindsets? Let's look at a few common organizational structures and operating models. The first, the familiar functional organization, is often fraught with entrenched silos, creating numerous systemic obstacles to flow. The second, the matrix, is often used when the organization can't physically reorganize completely along product lines. Surprisingly, this is the model of Toyota, which is functionally and geographically organized. To ensure flow, Toyota has a role called the chief engineer, a single product owner and value stream manager who is globally responsible for full alignment of each platform, such as the Corolla, the Prius, Camry, and so on. The third model aligns teams along product-focused value streams to achieve continuous delivery and innovation. A notable characteristic of this organization style is that it integrates communities of practice and expertise across these product-focused value streams to promote standardization, learning, and innovation. This product-oriented approach has become quite popular, and we see a variety of adaptive organizational structures emerging around shared purpose and customer intimacy, embedding technology vision and capabilities within the frontline teams. This speeds the transmission of information and learning and collectively guides everyone towards realizing strategic goals. It may not be necessary or even possible to physically reorganize an enterprise along products, but it's essential to help everyone visualize value stream flow and obstacles to create a line of sight to the flow and to the customer that nurtures shared purpose. This is where principles become essential, because we're asking many seemingly disparate elements of an often globally distributed enterprise to act together with shared purpose to create continuous flow, innovate, and drive continuous improvement. This journey is going to be unique for each organization, but based on the principles, we can offer a few things to think about. Now, it's easy to talk theory, so let's look at an example of an organization that, over a period of a few years, has been making this transformation work. 3 years ago, ING Bank underwent a significant shift, organizing along lines of business, value streams, with specialized capabilities matrixed to optimize cross-functional collaboration and learning, complete with all stakeholders, including technologists, in what they call biz dev ops, true end-to-end flow of customer-focused value. In their terminology, each line of business is organized as a tribe, delivering a portfolio of related products and services. For example, the mortgage services tribe. Each tribe is comprised of multiple self-steering teams called squads, each responsible for a distinct customer mission, such as the mortgage application squad. Matrixed and embedded within each squad are knowledge specialists who bring a specific skill set to the squad. For example, the capability of analytics is embedded into many squads. Analytics specialists together form a chapter, what many would call a community of practice or center of expertise, with chapter members matrixed into the appropriate squads. In this way, each team is self-contained and semi-autonomous with all the necessary capabilities, a clear sense of purpose, and time to develop mastery. This depiction of ING's framework is a multidimensional, adaptive, emergent model for learning that, in ING's own words, has no fixed structure, it continuously evolves. Behind the physical flow is the flow of knowledge. Every organization is naturally complex. And with the evolution of digitization, many are becoming even more complex. While the nature of work and various environmental constraints may necessitate a particular organizational structure, we can take advantage of digital capabilities to create a virtual line of sight for each value stream team so they're not constrained by a physical linear nature and create and optimize the flow of knowledge. This leads to our third principle. After orienting to the pursuit of superlative customer value and a customer experience and organizing the flow of value, the third key role of leadership is the promotion of organization-wide learning. In many organizations, leadership command and control often flows downward and only select information flows back upwards. Lean management practices encourage us to create continuous organizational PDCA cycles, plan, do, check, act cycles, to promote experimentation and learning. Guidance flows generally downward and across value streams, while feedback and learning flows omnidirectionally throughout the enterprise. In this way, leadership sees the impact of their strategy in the real world in real time, observing its effect on the organization and its customers. They're able to remove obstacles and continuously refine strategy to create organizational agility. This image depicts a form of strategy deployment which lean practitioners call Hoshin-Kanri. This is a slide from Pierre Massai, CIO of Toyota's European region, presenting his view of how Hoshin works. A key to organizational learning is the ability to visualize across all levels and contexts of the organization. Pierre has a senior leadership room that visualizes his strategy and its alignment to the overall enterprise strategy. Then, across his organization are project team rooms, all highly visual, depicting each team's work and its explicit alignment to Pierre's strategy and the enterprise strategy. This immersive visualization helps information flow quickly, bringing the right people together to understand the situation, solving problems using evidence and data, making informed decisions. Here are some examples of this visualization, what lean practitioners call an Obeya room. In the upper left, we see Pierre's leadership visual management room. In the upper right is Fred Mathiasen of Nike Europe. A few years ago, we coached Fred in his initial Hoshin and Obeya deployment. Fred is now leading Nike's global supply chain Obeya deployment. And across the bottom is a 360-degree panoramic view of ING's senior leader Obeya for internet banking and omnichannel. In addition to visualization, we also need rapid communication to speed learning. ING has a daily flow of information that cascades up, down, and across their organization. This helps everyone at every level and context to see and understand what they need to know. This also helps them to effectively prioritize. ING's communication framework also spreads knowledge and learning on a daily basis across squads and tribes. This communication can happen with co-located teams and virtually among globally distributed teams. The fourth principle is promoting a culture of continuous improvement. As we concentrate our new technology capabilities on helping people to streamline and improve their work, we free up their time and energy for more continuous improvement and innovation, creating a virtuous generative cycle. To start this cycle, we need to pay it forward by allocating sufficient time for coaching, problem solving, and learning. This investment in people's learning, development, and engagement drives all other enterprise outcomes. The scientific method, PDCA, is a foundation of continuous improvement and innovation. Technology capabilities like AI, machine learning, and others are transforming the way we can apply PDCA to solve problems, be they simple, complicated, complex, or even chaotic. The key is to identify the right capabilities to your conditions and developing and supporting these problem-solving tools and capabilities across every team in the enterprise. The sixth principle is particularly important in the disruptive digital age. Rather than avoiding uncertainty or attempting to control it, we can learn to exploit it. We can safely experiment our way to the opportunities found within uncertainty in a way that mitigates risk and accelerates learning. Finally, we reach the seventh principle, data integrity. In an age when data is abundant, we need to pay more attention to how we curate data. We need to view data not only in terms of accuracy, but also in terms of accessibility and context. The same data can find different uses and different interpretations depending on the organizational context and the nature of the problem to be solved. So in addition to data governance, security, management, and advanced analytics, we also need to invest in helping people, leadership, managers, and especially frontline teams learn how to access the right data in the right format to effectively identify problems or opportunities and make appropriate decisions that optimize value. In the end, it all comes down to this question. We all know we need to do this. We want to do this, but how do we change our culture? People and organizations act their way to a new way of thinking. By changing our behavior, we create new capabilities, develop new habits, and naturally we start acting differently. So here are some closing thoughts to consider. In our chapter in Accelerate, included in the download, you'll find a table we developed that lists some of the practices for leadership, management, and teams that support these principles and have been shown in research to correlate to high organizational performance. And now for a final reflection. These are the themes we addressed in our talk today. Let's take a closer look at the last one, the need to rethink IT within IT, which is on most every CIO's mind. What are some of the biggest challenges we face? For example, the classic IT and the business dichotomy, the doing old legacy stuff versus doing the cool new stuff dichotomy we often call bimodal, the separation of dev and ops, and the separation from the business and the customer. We also have multiple communities of practice: Agile, Scrum, Kanban, DevOps, Design Thinking, Six Sigma, BPM, RPA, AI, and others. While these communities all operate from common principles, they often work independently, sub-optimizing and even competing rather than cooperating towards shared enterprise and value stream outcomes. And let's think about challenges of the workforce itself. The insecurity resulting from constant technology evolution, leaving many to ask, am I creating the technology that will disrupt me and make my work redundant? And the gig economy workforce. As a contractor, I'm hired to perform a task, so my focus is on that task. I may have no buy-in or even relationship with the overall enterprise and its customers. As leaders, we have a clear vision of our relationship with the enterprise and our customers. But how do we change the way technologists engage with the enterprise and with the customers we serve? In our experience, the single most effective approach is to create visibility, connection, and engagement, helping everyone along each value stream see the whole. This helps everyone see and understand their unique contribution in how value is created and consumed by their customers, and provides the opportunity for shared learning across the enterprise so everyone is focused on creating and improving value every day. In this way, work becomes more meaningful, the connections stronger, transforming individuals into teams, teams into tribes, and tribes united in a shared purpose. Thank you to the CIO Association of Canada for inviting us to the beautiful city of Vancouver. Next year's CIO Association of Canada's Peer Forum will be in Toronto, and we hope to see you there.